Hi, my name is Michelle Kelly. I'm from Greenville, South Carolina, and I delivered my baby here at CHOP in Philadelphia. My child was diagnosed with SCT while she was still in my belly, and I delivered her here. We arrived to the Ronald McDonald House about 6 weeks ago, and it's been wonderful. It's helped so much being close to the hospital, and the food services here are amazing. We pretty much eat all of our meals here, whether through the grab or go or through the nightly meals. It has saved us so much money and time, so we can spend more time with our baby. She has been in NICU for 2 months, and yeah, we couldn't be more thankful.
Hi, welcome to Served with Love. I'm your host, Jared Johnson. Today's episode is sponsored by Gabe D'Annunzio and D&B Tailors in Newtown Square. Thank you so much for sponsoring today's episode, and can't wait to see you back out at our important functions and events. Today's episode is on pickles. And so I'm very excited today. You might notice that I have my mask on in the kitchen while we're working for today for the first time. And that's because for the first time we have a special guest on our show for today. And our guest for today is Chef Patrick Swartz. And Chef Patrick is the person who leads the food production and writes on the menus for all the food that we feed to our families every day. And he leads our team of culinary students and interns who are helping to produce all the food. And Chef Patrick is our resident pickle expert and is really passionate about the pickles that he makes. So Chef Patrick, what kind of pickles do you have for us today?
Oh, good morning. As Jared said, so I have cucumber pickles, and we're going to do these two different ways. We're going to do these. I have some already started here. So what I have is an immersion circulator. I have a container full of water. It's heated to 140 degrees, and we have the same ingredients that are in this jar are in this jar. So I have cucumbers, I have peppercorn, mustard seed, celery seed, shallot, ginger, and garlic.
And so those would be the things you consider the aromatics.
Those would be the
are
aromatics,
really
exactly. So those are going to enhance the flavor of the pickle after it's finished doing what it does. For this one, for example, everything's self-contained. So the brine is inside the jar, all of the aromatics are in the jar, all of the cucumbers are in the jar. It's fully submerged in this water, and it sits here for 2.5 hours. What that does is it evenly heats all of the ingredients. It distributes all of the flavors into the cucumbers. It pickles them, and it pasteurizes them. So once this is finished, you take it out of the water, let it sit overnight. The lid will seal itself. It's pasteurized. It's good to go. You can set it in a dark cabinet, no more than 75 degrees Fahrenheit for your ambient temperature. And you'll get 6 months to a year of shelf life out of that.
So that's definitely your new school method.
This is the new school method.
All in one, everything done for you, and with a very scientific approach.
Exactly. The other method, what I have here is I have everything in here except for my bay leaf, which I'll put in there, and my shallots. These are beautiful organic shallots right here. We'll just get those in there. And this method is somewhat of a quick pickling method. What I have is all of the same ingredients as are in here, in this jar. I have my funnel, I have my hot brine, which is my brine. I like to do equal parts of water and vinegar, and then an 80-20 on salt and sugar. So a little bit heavier on the sugar than on the salt.
And those ratios are really something that you can fluctuate
and change
depending on what you're making
absolutely.
And how you like it.
Absolutely. If you find a recipe that you like, kind of stick with it. That's what I do. The whole idea is, what are you pickling? Are you going to pickle cucumbers or are you going to pickle jalapenos? And then what flavor enhancements are you going to do?
Right.
So once you get your brine down, your flavor enhancements can be
whatever you
to
want.
The moon.
Sky's the limit. I see you have sliced cucumbers here today, but you could do whole pickles or whole cucumbers
absolutely.
or pickle spears.
If this jar was bigger, so this is not quite a quart container. This is about 1.5 pints, and then this guy here is just under 1 gallon. So if I was using this, I could put whole cucumbers in. I could put 2 or 3 of those in there. I could cut them into spears and stuff them in there. Kind of whatever you want. With a smaller jar, it works really well to do slices.
Yeah, you want to have it nice and jammed packed in there, and you
Yeah.
want to make sure everything is fully submerged, right?
Yep, everything fully submerged. And speaking of fully submerged, going back to the new school method, this, you really want to make sure that that jar is fully submerged. It's very important to have the lid covered with water. It's also very important to have what's referred to as fingertip tight on the lid. So when you put your lid on, you twist it until you get resistance, and then you come back just a little, just like a quarter turn back before you submerge it in the water. Reason for that is, as everything is heating up in there, as we know, water expands.
Yeah.
And what could happen is if you have this sealed on there when you submerge it in the water, that jar could explode over the 2.5 hours.
Note to the audience, make sure you don't make the lid too tight or you'll have an explosion in the kitchen.
The other thing is, afterwards, you might want to be like, well, I want to crack into these right away. Don't do that. Avoid doing that. Avoid submerging this or this in ice water. That'll also crack the jar. That sudden, rapid decrease
So you do need to have some temperature control once you take it out of the heat, and then get it from room temperature and then into your refrigerator or into the cabinet storage so it's ready for you to eat when you're ready for it, but you want to give it a couple of days.
So you want to, I like to let them sit, if I can reach through here. These were finished on July 2nd, and you see the color of the jar has changed.
Yep.
All those flavors have really married into everything. This actually, we let this sit out on the countertop for about 48 hours before we put it into the refrigerator. So what we've got is the before, it's working, and this is ready to go. These are ready to open up and enjoy burgers, sandwiches, a plate with some cheese, whatever you want.
So that's today's episode. I just wanted to say thanks again to Gabe D'Annunzio and D&B Tailors out in Newtown Square for sponsoring today's episode. And just talk to you a little bit more about some of the other kinds of pickles that we have. Here at the Ronald McDonald House, we do all kinds of pickles. And so today's show focused on cucumber chips, but there's also other things you can do. We have some great sweet banana peppers that we pickled here, and we also have a fermented pickle in sauerkraut. So all kinds of pickles that you can do. Get home, be creative, and start making your own pickles to make sure your summer abundance and harvest doesn't go bad. If you'd like to sponsor an episode or donate to our food services program, please visit www.phila.rmh.org/chefjared. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. This episode of Served with Love was sponsored by Gabe D'Annunzio from D&B Tailors in Newtown Square. We'd also like to thank Giordano's Garden Groceries for providing the fresh produce, and also Lancaster Farm Fresh for providing the fresh cabbage we used for the sauerkraut. For ingredients, recipes, and information on how you can support our food services program, please visit us on the web at www.phila.rmh.org/chefjared. You can also contact me with any questions by email at chefjared@phila.rmh.org. Thank you.